everybody, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video we are with our Massey Ferguson 390. So this is our two-wheel drive 390. Well, come and stand over here a bit, you've got to see it a bit better. So there it is in all its glory. So we are just with it now. It's been sat on the slurry stirrer all winter. We've used it, a bit of trailer work around the yard since, and we turned some efforts out with it the other day, so it went on the cattle trailer. So, but it's ready for a servicing really. It's not had its oil changed for a good while, I don't think. But yeah, we're going to change the oil in it. So, what we need to start off by doing is check we've got the right filter. So there's a part number on the filter there, and we just need to make sure that it matches the part number. The part number of the filter that's already on, and it does. It's the same part number, so we've got the right filter. So what we need to do is we need to take that filter off. So to do that, we've got a chain on a ratchet, just go wrapped around the filter. We can take that off and drain the oil out of it. So we'll start with draining the oil out of it. So first off, for that we need a spanner. I think it's 27mm. So we'll start with that. We need to get a bucket, let that drain, and then we'll change the oil filter. But yeah, we'll start with that. That'll do as a bucket. Right, so we just need the spanner now to undo the sump plug. Then it will run out into that bucket. Right, so what I've got there is I've just got a bucket with all old oil filters in. So there'll be a bit of oil that comes out of that when we undo it. And then that'll catch the filter as well. Right, so we've left that to drain now for a few minutes. I think it's pretty much finished draining, there's no more oil coming out of it. So what we need to do now is, we'll need to put the new oil filter on. So to start off with, I'll try and do this one-handed, so not easy, but if I sit you down here, hopefully you can see me there. We've got an oil filter, so we've got a can of oil here ready to go in the tractor. So what I just do is stick my finger, I've got a glove on so it doesn't matter, and just rub a bit of oil round the rim of the oil seal there. So that's what goes in contact with another seal on the tractor, so it's rubber on rubber, if that makes sense. So that's all ready to go now, so I'll put that back on, and then we'll put the bung plug back in, and then we'll fill it up with oil. Right, so we're near enough ready to put some oil back in. So we've already taken the cap off. We've just got a dipstick, so I'll just wipe that. And that goes back in there, side of the filter. We're ready for some oil now. Right, so we've changed the oil in it, we've filled it back up, and there we are. Well, you can see that. So it's just above maximum, so that's where it should be, because obviously that filter will take a bit of filling. So we always make sure it's got a little bit more in. But this tractor does leak a bit of oil through this breather pipe here. That's probably because the engine's about worn out in it. But that's the engine there. All underneath there, that's the injectors. So my brother's put a new fuel filter on it as well, sorted that out. So what we're going to do now is, it's all alright under there, we've checked that, that's alright. We're just going to give it a grease, so just go around it with a grease gun. So you can just make out the grease coming out of the joint there. So it's got a wheel bearing, a grease nipple on each front wheel bearing, and then there should be the one on this bit as well. There it is down there. so there we have it. We have serviced our Massey Ferguson 390, all put away now. And yeah, we've changed the oil in it, we've changed the fuel filter and the oil filter. We've greased all the grease nipples on it, so that's basically all serviced up. So yeah, that's ready for whenever we start silaging now. But it's a very simple tractor. It's done a lot of hours, this tractor. I think it's on about 14,000 now. It's had a hard life. Basically, this tractor's had a very hard life. It's done things an 100 horsepower tractor would do, not an 80 horsepower tractor would do. Spent many years hooked up to a 10-foot trailed class mower conditioner, and it would spend nearly all summer on that mower. When it weren't very old, it would spend all summer on that. When it weren't hooked up to that, it would cast in silaging with a silage trailer. You know, it spent a very hard life, this tractor. So, yeah, it deserves looking after, and it deserves, you know, servicing up on a regular basis. We do grease it up quite fairly regularly. I just greased it because it was sat in the yard and changed the oil in it. But I don't think I've changed the oil in it in 12 months. So, yeah, but I mean, all it's done is this winter sat on the slurry stirrer. It's not done really much anything else. A bit of trailer work. Before it were on the slurry stirrer, I think it were last summer on the tedder. And then I think it didn't really come off the tedder. Oh, we casted some bales with it with a trailer. But yeah, anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. It still plays a very important, vital role in the running of our farm. Yeah, most people would replace that and have a brand new one. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, good old tractor. They are a good tractor at the end of the day. And you've got to take into consideration that this tractor is actually now 35 years old. 1989, it says on it. Is it 1989 or 1990? One or the other. Oh, either way, it's over 35-year-old now. Actually, we could just have a look and you might be able to find where it says. Right, so I'm not sure how well you can make this out, but old Fergie tractors have GKN shanky wheels on. That's who made them. That's who made the cabs as well. But it's good. They always put the date on the rim. So the inner rim, it says 01/90, which that means 1990, and that means 01 will be January. So I'm right, isn't it? It's a very early 1990 tractor, this. So it came here when it was 5-year-old, and it's been here ever since. But it has had a few coats of paint on these wheels, because you can see the old stuff's coming through now. It's very, very rusty. Just the fact it sits on the slurry stirrer, it rots the rims. But yeah. So yeah, I've done that for actually my own sanity as well, to work out what year it is. So yeah, it's January 1990, it's got printed on that rim. I can't see the other rim around the other side, but it'll be very, very similar. So yeah, it's got the 8-speed gearbox, 8-speed shuttle gearbox, which is actually quite rare in a Highline 390 with 2-wheel drive on. So yeah, it's one of the very last ones without the 12 shuttle. So they moved the gear sticks from the middle here to having a single one here on the side of the seat. I think that was 1990 or 1991. So this would have been one of the last ones with that gearbox in, with the gear sticks in the middle. Well, I think then again, it might have still been an option to have that as well as the 12-speed shuttle. But anyway, we've tightened that bung up down there, which let the oil out. That's tight. We've got to always make sure that that is tight, because if that comes loose, all the oil comes out. You've got a seized engine at the end of the day, and that's what happens. When engine runs out of oil, engine seizes. And that's a very expensive job. Could probably do an engine overhaul, this tractor. That's probably why it leaks oil. But anyway, enough of me waffling on. Hope you've enjoyed this little servicing video of our 390. Not going anywhere anytime soon, it's still staying here. Plays a very important role in running our farm, does very important jobs at the end of the day. It's been used quite a bit lately when turning heifers out, been on the cattle trailer. Some people might be saying, why don't you put your Land Rover on the trailer and cart heifers out with that? When there's 5 heifers in the cattle trailer, the Land Rover knows about it. Just may as well stick the tractor on. I know we were driving a mile away, but it's one of them. Tractor can boss the cattle trailer. The heifers won't throw the tractor about the same as they would the Land Rover, so yeah. Anyway, like I say, enough of me waffling on. Hope you enjoy the video. If you have, please get a thumbs up, subscribe below, and I'll see you in my next one. I'll see you. Bye!